So this is mad.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. It's an interpreter. You've seen interpreters before, right? It takes commands. It does things with the commands. Uh, when you go into it, you step into it, you type in help. It gives you a list of things it can do right here. There's not a terrible amount of information about each and every command, but I hope that they're all pretty straightforward. Um, One really cool thing is that even so, you know, right here, my loading a module command is actually currently module, and I probably will end up changing that, but I kind of didn't want to like overly copy other frameworks, even though in the end, like everybody uses the same verbiage to do the same things, and so you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
One feature that we have inside of MAD is command aliases. So even though the command to load a module is module, if you go ahead and type in something else, something that maybe comes from another framework, something that's embedded in you as muscle memory from your time spent in Metasploit or Recon NG or something like that, that's not a problem. The interpreter goes ahead and takes care of that for you. So yeah, we got autocomplete. It's a decently on its own. It's an interpreter that's on its way. It will get
Okay.
there for sure, and it's not bad, and it works just fine as it is. So go ahead and load up a module, and you can see there you go. There's the list of all the modules we currently have from the autocomplete.
Okay. So of course you've got honey ports, which is allows you to set poisoned ports. Anybody trying to do an Nmap scan on those will close that port and lock that IP address out, right?
Well, here maybe I can deliver some more active defense knowledge.
Please drop some knowledge upon me.
Yeah. So we have honeyports, absolutely, and that's exactly what honeyports are. We also have a couple different flavors of honeyports. If you want to like accessorize your honeyports, right? We have the basic, which is what you just described. It receives a connection on a certain port, and when it receives a connection, it goes ahead and says, "Hey, how about the guy who just connected doesn't connect to us anymore?" Pretty simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
We also have another module right here that runs in the background and runs on multiple ports at once with only one launching of a module. That's simple stuff. Over here we have two other ones, and they're both tools I wrote as per usual. These are different flavors of honey ports, and I'll let you guys pick if you want to see me try and demonstrate one. Uh, so in Visiports, it goes ahead and it blocks just like with a basic honeyport, but as it blocks somebody from being able to connect to any of the actual ports on your machine, it also creates a pre-routing modification inside the IP tables configuration that makes it appear to them when they do attempt to connect as though you are still online, and that it also appears that you are displaying a certain port set. So that would be like preset instead
Mm-hmm.
of, we can go ahead and load it up.
Yeah, let's do that one.
You can see, so here's your whitelist. Your fake ports, those are the ports that will be shown to an attacker after they connect to your honey port, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they'll see going forward. So you can set that up to look like anything you want. And then any data they actually attempt to send to those ports is just sent into a black hole. It just goes nowhere. But to them, if they do something like attempt to scan you, whether it's TCP Connect or a SYN scan or something, they'll see it as though you're online, and they'll just sit there wasting their time, confused as to why they can't FTP onto your FTP or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty straightforward. You run it. Yeah, actually, yeah. I wish I had more of a demo because Matt is pretty straightforward. You set the things like the listen port, and then you just run it. So, and I can show you. We can list the commands associated with a module. We can run it, or we can run it in the background. Let's run it,
Oh, very cool.
and just like that, it's running. I don't actually know if I have a machine I have access to right now that I can blacklist safely, but um,
So you can run. Does MAD need a dedicated server, or could you run like a small instance, or a Docker, or an LXC, or something like? No, was it Linux containers, or can you run it on an actual specific host, like a
okay.
web server or something?
What do you mean like a specific host, like a web server, like a hosted web server, as in like it runs in PHP hosted by like Arvix or GoDaddy, or that's not what you
Well,
mean.
you said it. You said it was. You said it's a framework, so it would run on. Jiggle the wire. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Betcher. So this is it's a framework that runs, and if you wanted to put it on your web server, your web portal, you could run MAD on your web portal.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So um,
It's just a little Python script. It can run anywhere you can run a Python script. It currently doesn't have any dependencies, and it doesn't take up a considerable amount of like RAM or anything like that. So,
okay, cool. You said you didn't have access to another box that you could use to blacklist yourself, basically.
well, I mean, if you guys want to try and connect, you're more than welcome to get blacklisted.
I'll give it a try here. Let me bring up a terminal. All right, so let me pull this into. Oh wait, I want to pull my screen into. No, I do not wish to update at this time. ZSH, thank you very much. All right, I'm going to pull it into my screencast here so people can see what's going on.
So let's say you have 443 open. So I can connect to 443 just fine. However, if I try to connect to port 80 or 21, you're like, whoa, this guy's getting blacklisted. I can no longer connect to port 443.
Yeah.
But it looks like 80 and 21 are open.
Okay.
Yep.
So, all right. So, what's the IP address of the site, and what do I need to connect to it?
Yeah. So, 198.
198.
.199.
.119.
.103.
03. All right, and port 443.
The listen port, the one that it's waiting for bad people to connect to currently, is 278.
278. All right. So
what's a good port though?
I believe this is this port 80 should be fine.
Okay. So if
you can connect to port 80 right now just fine, right?
That should be my website for my new company.
Okay, so there we go. So I did a netcat to that IP address on port 278. It says, "Oh, it succeeded on that port."
Cool. And then you
protocol error. Error. All right.
It is.
So let me try to connect again. Oh, it said it succeeded.
It should allow you to continue to connect on that port and that port alone.
Okay.
And I've just, if you guys are seeing my screen, I've just received notifications. That's right. There's notifications in MAD that actually tells me that you're connecting.
Right on.
I did that rather than just pushing everything to standard out, as many frameworks do, so that you could run a lot of tools at once, because unlike Metasploit, we're generally not working on one task at a time. We're basically using this to administer the defense of our network. And so we actually have a notification center. Go ahead and try and read those notifications.
So I just tried to connect on that IP address to port 80, and it did succeed, but then it had a protocol error.
So that's the protocol error, quote unquote, protocol error. Message that I send to everyone who connects to the listening in Visiport's listener. So what you're seeing right there, the protocol error, air quotes, is a sign that it has succeeded.
Right on.
And if you want to try the 3 ports you should be able to see right now, the fake ports are 21, 80, and 445. So if you were to like nmap me or something, you would still see those ports up, and you would still see, you're like, oh, cool, he's still there. I'm gonna get him. Oh man, port 445. I'm gonna SMB him. Port 21. I'm gonna FTP him. And they're black holes. So.
Yep. Yeah, I have crappy Apple stuff, so it's automatically seeing port 21, 554, and 7070. But it does see port 80 as being open for me, but it doesn't show 2180 or 445. It doesn't show 445 at least, and I was doing a non-ping port check. So
okay, well, I'll have to make sure that it's working properly, just in case it's not. I've tested these here at home, but I'm getting some socket errors now.
Okay, it shows filtered right now.
Filtered? Okay.
Yeah. So you'll get to see this on the image. That's about the extent of my my knowledge is right there. So does it show the IP? Well, does it show the IP address of the host that was trying to get to your system like that?
I believe that that is what I included inside of the notifications. And the notifications is just set as part of the module itself.
Okay.
That just to be clear, what I'm speaking on here, the notifications are set by the module creator. They're not something that's set by the interface or the main interpreter or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and so I'm Xing out of the module. Now we're gonna go ahead and read the notifications, and I don't believe I did. No, I did not currently include your IP address in the output right there, but I did go ahead and say that somebody has been blacklisted, and
Okay.
that's literally just if I want to. That's probably not a bad idea. Maybe I'll just go update the module tonight that it said that.
Well, the
There you
other
go.
thing is if somebody's coming through a Tor node, then you're just really going to be blocking Tor node exits.
Sure.
So if you had some other method of attribution, then you could block everything from China or everything from Russia or from Liechtenstein. Where all the real hackers are in Liechtenstein.
Of course.
So yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. And this is available, you said, in an alpha, basically. So if this
Yes.
is, if you enjoy your bleeding edge, then you can get in on this. If anybody wanted to help you out with source code, they just get a hold of you through your GitHub or through your Twitter to, offer up diffs.
Absolutely. Yeah, again, it's a big project. I'm just kind of swamped with homework, and I'm trying every chance I get to try and get in here and get some new code written, but it's a pain. It's all the stuff my professors are like, "Come on, do this, do this."
So what are you going to college for? Are you going for MBA or something, or?
I'm currently just trying to create my own like quasi cybersecurity degree at the local college
Right on.
because they don't have one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that was pretty nice. I like that. So Matt is available for download. There's no warranty. If it screws up your box, that's on you. Read the README on his site. I liked the little thing he made. Matt, its own little entity talking about his creator and who made him. So that was a really nice story and a discussion of how everything works. And Ben, if people wanted to get a hold of you, I mentioned Twitter earlier. What's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is @Zaex, which is spelled ZAEYX.
Okay, right on. Are you going to be giving any talks in the near future? Are you going to be coming over to the Seattle area where we might enjoy a healthy semi-adult beverage or anything like that?
I'm definitely planning on coming over to the Seattle area as soon as I possibly can. And again, that's just contingent upon school.
Right
But
on.
talks, I don't have any talks planned at the moment. I don't have any talks that I'm scheduled for the moment. I do plan on giving quite a few as my tools start rolling out here in the near future, but I'll have to update you on that at some point.
Okay. You going to be going to any cons that people might be able to shake your hand at or say hey at?
Again, I don't have a plan just yet about where I'll be going, but I do plan on doing it. So
Anything you do has to be on the weekends because during the week you're a mild-mannered student at college.
yeah.
Okay. I get it. Mr. Betcher, how would people get a hold of you if they wanted to?
As usual, I'm on the Twitterverse @BetcherPwned.
Right on. I am on at Brian Brake, BRYANBRAKE. The official BrakeSec podcast Twitter is @BrakeSec, BRAKE-SEC. We have a Patreon. I'd like to thank all of our Patreon people for supporting the podcast. I don't know why they do, but they love us and they want to give us money, which is cool. We're on TuneIn. That's our new thing. We're on the TuneIn app. So if you enjoy streaming internet audio or radio stations through the TuneIn app on your Windows, Apple, or Android device, you can go search for Breaking Down Security, and you can listen to every podcast we've ever done on there. And that was pretty awesome. I'm glad they did that for us. Our RSS feed is www.breakingsecurity, BRAKEING security.com /RSS. We're on iTunes. I looked at some of our stuff recently. We have roughly a quarter of our entire 90,000 downloads were Apple people, and yet we only have 7 reviews on Apple, so on iTunes. So I don't know why that is, but if you do listen to us on iTunes, please leave us a review. I don't think it makes any difference in our ranking, but it's just nice to see some feedback, on a semi-permanent basis. So, Ben, thank you for coming on. You're always I always learn something every time you come on. I'm going to, show this off to the folks at work because I'm sure they will love talking about it as well. And if you have any other new toys, like once you get that Phantom fleshed out, please come back and demo it for us and show us how that works. So that'll be awesome.